All right, good morning again, everyone. So it is, let me just do that first. All right, good morning again, everyone. It is the 17th of May. It is Tuesday morning, so good to be back again. Had a short break yesterday, long weekend here. So we're back into the currency call flow. Uh, no more holidays and breaks coming up. So again, welcome. Traders Club session. This is the currency call. If you are watching us on YouTube, then bear in mind that you are watching this slightly later. So check your charts before you jump into any trades. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out the links, check out the comments, just so that you can find the links to join the Traders Club so that you can join this session live as it happens and ask questions in the chat, ask questions in the platform if you need any help with your trading journey. With that said, now quickly, any information shared in this video is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of myself. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. Right, so what has happened with the market? Not a lot, but yet we've seen prices move quite significantly. For today, well, I'll just do a quick recap of what happened yesterday. You can see that no big news yesterday. We did have at 10:15 p.m. the UK, the pound monetary policy report hearings, and what actually came about from that is a lot of focus on the inflation numbers, right? So Governor Bailey warns of very real income shocks to energy prices and global goods prices. Apocalyptic food and energy prices are coming. So inflation is likely to run very high in the UK. And with that comment coming from the Bank of England, we're likely to see further rate increases to be applied from the Bank of England. So a bit more of a aggressive rate increase to be expected from the UK, right? And also because of that, what resulted is late into the session last night, we saw the pound dollar climb very significantly because of this news. So with that, I'll tell you more about the pound dollar tomorrow as we look at with the pound dollar in focus. But today is Tuesday, so it is back to the euro and the euro pound in focus. What else do we have today? This morning, we just had the RBA monetary policy meeting minutes. It did push the Aussie dollar up slightly, but not a great deal at this point. That fluctuation is possibly because of the base that the Aussie dollar is finding. What you should pay a lot of attention to is tonight. Tonight, the retail sales number coming from the US, retail sales number looking to go from a 0.5 to a 1%. So an uptick in retail sales number. A little bit of a surprise there. I thought that retail sales number should be dropping because of inflation, because consumer sentiment has been dropping as well in the US, but anticipated retail sales number to push higher from a 0.5 to 1%. If this does come out, then we're likely to see some dollar strength apply. Core retail sales number dropping from 1.1 to a 0.4%. Core retail sales number does take out the automobiles, the change in total value of sales, excluding automobiles. So looking like later tonight or later into the session tonight, we might see dollar strength come back into play. With that, what else to pay attention to for, especially on the euro dollar? Tomorrow, we do have pound CPI to be released, 7 to 9.1. So a big change there. I'll tell you more about that tomorrow. CAD CPI to be released tomorrow as well. And then on Thursday, Aussie numbers, Aussie employment numbers, CAD, US, and on Friday, pound retail sales number. So what you can see here is that no big news to be released from the Eurozone, no big news to be released from the Eurozone, which also means that we could see the euro dollar trading a little bit more towards a trend, possibly a little bit more sensibly as well. So I'll show you what it means on the charts. But first, looking at the dollar index here, let me just remove that. Right? So looking at the dollar index here, the last time we spoke about this, I was anticipating for dollar index to come towards 104.30 and bounce back up. It didn't happen. What's actually happening right now with the dollar is that it's come towards 104 flat, and it seems to be finding that base here. So I like it that it's a round number. I like it how it's reacting to that round number. If it does find that base and push up, it could repeat what happened last week on the 12th of May as it broke above this 104. So I'm looking for this to push above 104 towards the upside, towards that 105 number. So in the scheme of things, what I'll be looking for is for dollar index to push towards 105. Again, I would say that last week we saw it come towards 104.80, 104.90 and retrace back down. So I think that it will possibly do the same thing, come towards that 104.80 or 90 level, hesitate, consolidate before possibly breaking higher. If it does break above 105, then 106 becomes the next target level. But what I think is going to happen, it's going to move up, consolidate at that 104.80 to 90 level before breaking up. A bit like what happened here. If I zoom in a little bit, you can see that every time it comes towards a round number resistance level, it hesitates, it retraces the same thing, and then it hesitates again before breaking strongly towards the upside. So that's what I'm looking for again on the dollar index on the H4 time frame. So if the dollar index does consolidate here, push higher towards that 105 level, what can we anticipate on the euro dollar? Euro dollar has been climbing, right? Since the 13th, since last week, it's found that base at 103.67, and it's pushed up towards that 104, almost towards 104.63 before now looking like a retrace. I think what's going to happen here on the euro dollar, don't do anything yet. Wait for it to come towards that 104 level. I would be looking at 104 round number as a trigger level, the same as what we spoke about last week on the 12th. If it does break below 104, then I'll look for it to test that 103.67 again. So in terms of a trade idea, what I would be looking for is selling opportunities towards the downside below 104. So 104.22. So I would say a repeat of what happened last week in that view would be below 104.20. So at about 104.12, 104.12, look to sell 30 pip stop loss, a 40 pip take profit level, a 1:1.3 risk reward ratio towards the downside. In this case, I would even be shifting that level down slightly towards 103.56 because of what happened most recently. So you can look to sell down almost a 30 pip stop and a 50 pip take, a 1:1.6 risk reward ratio towards the downside for the euro dollar. So quite simply, again, like I've always been saying, I would not be looking to buy the euro up just because of how it's been moving. You can see that if I zoomed out, it would drop. It would look like it's bouncing strongly, but it would drop again, consolidate, drop again. And now it looks like it's bouncing, but I'm looking for it to drop back down. So my view on the euro dollar for a very long time has been to sell it down, let it rebound, and then back to selling it back down again. So quite straightforward there on the euro dollar. With that, looking at the euro pound has been dropping very strongly. If you have been following the trades, there was one trade that we were looking at towards the downside. This still holds. This is a counter trend trade. We were looking for it to break that 0.85 level. It's broken once, it bounced back up. So that's what usually happens with a counter trend trade. It's very volatile. It retraces quite significantly. Again, at this point, as it breaks that 0.8468 level, I would say look to sell it down. Look for that candle to close and look for a selling opportunity below 8450. So below 8450, I'd say 8445, about 8445. Take profit 40 pips, stop loss about 30 pips, a 1:1.5 towards the downside for the euro pound. And this euro pound, I think it's likely to drop further, driven not just because of how the euro dollar is likely to move, but also because of the pound dollar. Pound dollar has been pushing towards the upside, seems to have found a base at that 1.22 level, now pushing back up. If it finds that base of 1.23 and pushes higher, as the pound dollar goes up, as the euro dollar drops, we're likely to see the euro pound push lower. All right, so this could be a first part trade. Second part could come all the way back down towards that 0.82 level, 0.82 level, or 83 level first, right? So this could be a short-term trade that could transition into a longer-term trade idea, a big reversal on the euro pound. And if I zoomed out on the daily time frame, you can see that whenever it rejects this 85 level, it seems to track all the way back down towards 83 and possibly, well, to 83 here and possibly even towards 85.50. Main thing is that 83.50 and 83 flat number seems to be a good round number that we can see it retracing back down. So I'm looking for that move to continue on the euro pound towards the downside, driven not just because of how the euro dollar is moving, but also because of how the pound dollar is moving as well. With all that said, make sure you turn up. Traders Club members, make sure you turn up for tonight's session at 8 p.m. GMT plus 8. We'll be going through the retail sales number for the US and also to prep you for tomorrow's news in terms of the pound CPI numbers and the pound prep for tomorrow's currency call as well. With that said, take care, trade safe, trade well, and I'll see you tonight. And non-Traders Club members, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.